Hi, and welcome to our PTSD awareness videos. My name is Amanda Held. This is Kellie Stewart, and we have Harrison Schottley with us today. Did I say that right?
You did. Yes.
All right. Yes. Winning. And Harrison is a Marine veteran. And today, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about non-combat veteran PTSD. And so we were just having a conversation, and we really threw Harrison on the spot here, so we're really grateful to
On the
him.
spot.
But we were just talking about kind of the emotions that develop when you are in the military and you are not a combat veteran, or you haven't been in some type of combat-related trauma, that there's still a level of PTSD that can develop through other situations in life, or even just kind of a guilt about signing up to put your life on the line for the country, and then actually not having the opportunity to do that. So can you tell us just a little bit about what you did in the military?
Sure, yeah. So I was a CH-46 airframe mechanic, and then once that decommissioned from service, I went to the F-35 as an airframe mechanic. So my time, I never did Iraq, Afghanistan. I did 2 years in Japan, some humanitarian floats through there, Southeast Asia type deal. So I never saw combat, as some of the other veterans see. But there's a lot of people I've worked with that had that guilt trip of, I'm working on an aircraft all day, every day, but I'm not out there fighting hand-in-hand combat. So it was almost a daily effort and task to reinforce those people. It's like, we may not be hand-in-hand combat right then and there, but our line of work was just as important as the guys doing the hand-in-hand combat. The 46s, we had to make sure those planes were ready to go at any second to make sure that they were ready to go save lives or go insert the combat vets. And even with the F-35, we had to be ready for them to take off to go drop bombs in any situation. So, with the non-combat experience, we still had just as much importance to our service as someone that was doing their hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Can you also speak a little bit to the adrenaline rush that took place in always having to be ready, and kind of you had to be super vigilant all the time, right? Like one little tool on the ground or piece of dust could ruin an entire mission. So you lived in this space too of heightened awareness, and maybe it wasn't we're about to be attacked by the enemy, but it was a hypervigilance, right?
Right.
Can you speak a little bit to the effects of experiencing that for an extended period of time, and then maybe coming back to your family?
So everything had to be top notch. One little bolt had to be perfect. There had to be no debris anywhere. And the F-35, it was one pilot's life was flying at any given time. With the 46s, it was at least 3 people. So you had that in the back of your mind of, you're doing a job. If this part fails, or whatever I just did fails, and that aircraft crashes, that comes back on me. So you had to have 100% focus all the time, no matter what, and just find the smallest detail possible. And if you were called out to an aircraft that was launching, and you knew the circumstances of the plane was launching to drop bombs or rescue mission, but you saw something was wrong, it's like, what do you do? Do you send that aircraft out knowing something's bad, risking 3 people's lives more? Or those decisions have to be seconds. Like, you don't have time, you don't have 15 minutes to go sit back in your comfy chair and, all right, well, the book says to do this, let's do it this way. You're on the spot, like, let's go. And so it's split-second decisions on, all right, we're going to pull back from the mission and, hope everybody's okay over on the other side, or, we'll send the aircraft out and just pray and hope. And coming home to it, over the years, I've my wife makes fun of me all the time now. It's like, oh, you don't pay attention to anything. It's, no, I can see every little detail. I just, I'm not focused on that one thing, so I don't remember where I last saw it, but it's like, okay, I see the smaller pieces, not the broader picture. So it's just years of being ready to go.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that to light. How do you feel like that impacts you on the day-to-day?
Sometimes it's helpful, and sometimes it's, like I just said, like my wife kind of gives me some crap about it. It's kind of fun though. Every now and then she'll, hey, where's the towel that I used 5 minutes ago? It's over there where you left it. Oh, all right, cool. Or where's this? Or she'll ask me where something is. It's like, oh, it's in this exact spot over here, right there, behind 5 different things. And she'll go, how do you remember that? It's, so it has some give and take on the relationship a little bit of how can you not remember some of the little stuff or the bigger stuff, but you remember.
Yeah.
The finer detail.
Tiny
the finer,
details.
yeah.
So in essence, do you think that that experience by being in that position actually gave you like a microcosm of being able to actually have an awareness that took you right down here into every little tiny detail of what was required, and you've taken that forward into the future? Yeah. But I can imagine that having that and being like having to check every little thing would be quite stressful, right?
Oh yeah.
And like double checking and hoping, or making sure, not hoping, making sure that they were on point. So being in that state of mind or that state of expression for long periods of time, how did you find that had an effect on your physical body or your emotions?
Well, I lost all my hair, so.
God damn it. Get you a wig. You can have some of mine.
Yeah, right. There's times even now, being out for a little over a year now, I still kind of have that moment of, did I do it right? Did I do it wrong?
So second guessing yourself.
But then there's times it's like, no, I'm right. I know I'm right. It's like, this is how it's happening.
Can I ask how you know it's right? Like, what is it that gives you the message that you know it's right?
Gut feeling.
Okay, so you tap into your expression down here.
And I think it's just years of experience of being so consistent all the time. And then you can kind of gauge then from all those years and knowing that's right, or I need somebody else to take a look at it, and then you just practice and practice and practice, and now I know it's like, yeah, that's it.
That's it. And by getting to that stage, would have been quite a bit of time of like having mistakes happen, or so that you could tap into that feeling, right?
There's some mistakes along the road. Luckily, it was all caught before anything catastrophic happened. So, knock on wood, we're good there. So, but okay. There's a lot of issues that you just have to keep going forward.
And again, we're going to come back to stress. Like, do you feel that put you into a stressful state of that? Because you would have to have a heightened sense of awareness continually to be able to have a like a microcosm awareness to be able to check all the smaller things. Did you find yourself experiencing any sort of trauma-related expressions or emotions post actually being in that position?
My wife says I have zero emotion, so.
Interesting. Interesting. And this is one of the things that we actually do see with PTSD, isn't it? That the emotions become so repressed and so suppressed that you become expressionless to a point that you perceive that you don't have the ability to have any emotion, to actually connect with others or empathy as such.
I mean, I'll agree with her sometimes, there's zero emotion sometimes, but then there's other circumstances depending on what the nature is.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think this is such an important topic to touch on because, I do speak to a lot of veterans that don't have those extreme combat memories, but they still have symptoms, right? And, when we go on a mission and we have to live in the hypervigilance, even if it's just being detail oriented, when we're in that state constantly, we're releasing chemicals in our brain, we're getting these cortisol releases, and our brain becomes addicted to receiving that release, right? And so when we leave the service, our brain is still programmed to be that way, right? And so the chemicals create a mood. The mood creates a personality trait, right? And then the more we live in that, the deeper the trait goes. And then we come back to civilian life, to society, and other people can't relate to that. So then we just become isolated, because we then develop the belief that people don't understand, right? And so I think that's why a lot of veterans that do leave, the service, do you ever feel, I guess, like there's an added layer of maybe guilt or shame of like, well, I didn't go out and fight, so why do I feel this way?
Yes and no. But still continued forward because I understood how important my job was on helping others, and that's what I want to keep doing, is I want to keep helping others. And I've been known for that even now. My family, my wife, my mom, you're too nice, you help too much.
Got it.
So I've taken something, I guess, that some people take as a negative, and I've turned that around to keep going forward as a positive. So because I helped, I just want to keep helping now.
And tell me, how has that spilled over into your work as a realtor?
I'm always out there trying to do the absolute best for somebody else. Almost zero regards for me. I want to make sure that, one, they get the house that they want because they want it, not because somebody else, another realtor, no, this is the one you have to get because I want to get more money. It's totally unethical. We're not allowed to do that anyways. But if they want that house, I will try and get the absolute best deal for them and make sure everything is perfect for them in their eyes.
Continuing the service in a different form.
Right.
You've left the service into another service of humanity. And do you feel like because you are still able to be of service that you have increased your self-worth and your purpose here?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that is one of the greatest things that we as human beings, if we don't have a connection to purpose, then we actually start to diminish our self-worth, or our beliefs actually start to shift, and then our emotions actually then pretty soon follow that too. So that's something that we actually do really work with here at Hooves, is getting people reconnected with their purpose and back into society to being of service or something that is most important to them. And so, Amanda, do you want to speak to that? How the programs actually do help people coming back into society?
Absolutely. And I think, Harrison, you're a great example. Harrison has not been through a Hooves retreat yet, but he is already doing some of the things that we show people how to do to maintain that sense of purpose and passion and motivation and success. So one of the things that every veteran gets when they come through Hooves is a new mission and vision statement. After we kind of help people overcome their challenges, we help find out what their natural given gifts are and see how we can create a life moving forward that encompasses the things that drive them to be successful, and reassign the things that maybe they found success in the military. We help them find a new form moving forward in their new mission and vision. So I think this was just a great conversation and a great testament to the reality of leaving the service and leaving that high level of purpose and standard, and how it is not hopeless, and that it absolutely can be recreated moving forward in a way that still benefits humanity and the people we care about. So
thank you for joining us on the bench today.
And thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.